Does this budget say that we're going to live within our means at any single year in the 10-year plan you set forth?
Senator, this budget would get us to the point where in the middle of the decade, we will be paying for our current expenses, and we will be in what's called primary balance. That means that the only thing that's putting us into deficit is payments of interest on the national debt. And if I could put it in terms for that, a family's terms, it's like saying we're going to cut the credit card, not add to the balance, and then we'll work on paying down the old bill.
But we are adding to the balance, and we're not cutting up the credit card. That's just the fact. Do you believe that the American people who heard the President on his radio address Saturday say that this budget calls on Washington to live within its means, do you think that it is misleading, and since in the lowest deficit year of the 10, by your own budget, the deficit will be over $600 billion that year?
Senator, having sat in this chair and presented 3 budgets with surpluses, I know the difference between a surplus and a deficit, and we're not going to get to a surplus until we can pay down the debt because of the interest payments.
Oh, you mean reducing the debt is paying down the debt? Is that Washington speak?
What I said was we're going to stop adding to the debt. Our spending will not add to the debt.
Well, what year can you say that under your budget it gets below $600 billion a year in added debt?
Senator, I understand the arithmetic of paying interest on our national debt. We've accumulated a lot of debt. This has been a very deep recession. We've had an enormous number of decisions made that have caused the deficit to grow. We're going to have to work together to reverse that. But we can't we can't make the debt go away, and we have to pay the interest on it until we start reducing it.
Well, I know there's some idea that somehow you can say you're in balance when you don't pay your interest. You don't count the interest payment, which is obviously not a legitimate way to analyze it. There's no dispute that I can see that your budget calls for not a single year in which we add less than $600 billion to the debt. And you said in your interview Sunday with Candy Crowley, our budget will get us over the next several years to the point where we can look the American people in the eye and say we're not adding to the debt anymore. We're spending money that we have each year, and then we can work on bringing down the national debt. Was that an accurate or misleading statement to the American people Sunday?
Senator, I think it's an accurate statement that our current spending will not be increasing the debt. We do have interest payments. It's going to take us a while to work down those interest payments.
Well, you didn't say that. You said that we will be bringing down the debt during the period of this budget, and that we can look them in the eye and say we're not adding to the debt anymore. And that's not accurate, is it?
No, I believe it is accurate. Our current programs, the things that we're doing, that we're making decisions on, we've stopped spending money that we don't have. We can't just wish the national debt away.